Hi guys, so today I want to share with you something that I feel is very, very important. There's so many people who wants to get rich in their lives and they've always come and talk to me and say, how do you do it? Is it this way? Is it through investments? Is it through business? Is it through getting a big job? And my honest answer to you right now is I've actually coached a lot of people in my life. I coach people who are very successful, CEOs of companies who are making 5 to 6 figure incomes. I actually coach people who are doing very well in business. As a matter of fact, I have a lot of people who are actually doing extremely well in investments as well. And I've noticed that many of these people, there are always two sides. One that are doing extremely well and those that are not doing extremely well. And I've always noticed that the ones that are not doing very well in their life have one similarity which I'm going to share with you. So if you really want to ask the question right now, hey, how do I really get rich in life? I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be in business, it's not going to be in investments, or it's not going to be in doing a great job. As a matter of fact, the way and the secret of how most of these people got rich in the beginning is because of one very simple thing. And that, my friend, is called money management. So if you don't know how to count the money that you have in a bank, how are you going to get rich? Now, let me give you an example right now. Most people nowadays, when you get your salary or your money that's coming in right now, it could be from any income source. Most of the time, okay, it falls into one singular account. And it isn't singular account, it could be anything of a savings account or current account. And then you would use this same account to go out there to pay all your expenses. You could go out there to pay for food, you could go out there to pay for your transportation, you could go out there to pay for your insurance or even your housing expenses. And then after that, you could give some away to your parents, right? Just to make sure that you are a good kid and so on and so forth. And then what happens is that you will wait towards the end of the month and hopefully you have some money coming back. Now that, my friend, is the worst way of managing your money. And it's because of this constant going in and out, that makes you really, really broke. So I'm going to share this with you guys right now. If you ever want to be rich, you have to manage this a lot better. Just imagine right now, for example, if you're running a big business, you go into the business, you see a person who is the receptionist, and the receptionist is also the engineer that actually goes out there to do the products. He's also actually the salesperson, he's also the accountant, he's also the HR, and he's also the boss. What do you think if you go to a company who is doing that right now? Won't you agree that that company will not run efficiently? So the same answer, I'm going to give this to you right now. This is not the best way of managing your money. Imagine if more money comes into here, it's just going to make a bigger mess. So one of the things I always tell people right now is this: before you even start investing, because investing takes a lot of money and effort, before you start putting into a new business, or even before you ask your boss for an increment in pay, you want to make sure that that money sticks and stays and actually builds your wealth. So I'm going to share a simple method of how you can go out there and manage your money a little bit better. Alright, so let's get started. So I call this the bucket system. Now, I actually derived this from many other ways of doing it. I have attended to T. Half Acres Millionaire Mind Intensive 6-jar system. You have also many other ways of doing it. There's a 3-account system of doing it, but I'm just going to take all this in and put into something a bit more visual so you can understand this a bit more. So I call this the bucket system, and bucket system basically makes you understand this a little bit more. So imagine this right now, that your entire income is just like a bucket system, and the bucket is this bucket that comes in and out, and you would actually get this bucket coming into this huge bucket over here on a monthly basis. What is this bucket? This bucket over here is basically your salary, right? If you're a salary earner right now, you would carry this bucket of maybe $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, and you pour it into here once every month, all right? And most of the time, what happens is you have something like this. That money would then start to flow, okay, and handle all the expenses. But I'm going to do a little bit of a change, okay, right now. And this is what I show you in the bucket system. In the bucket system, what you do is this. You punch a little hole, you pipe this into another bucket as it is. And let's call this bucket over here something called necessity. So a necessity is basically some of the expenses over here that comes from food, okay, comes from transportation. So these are all your daily needs. And basically what happens is that this bucket is only purely to pay off expenses that comes from any of this kind of spending. So this is one way of doing it right now. Then you may have some other types of characteristics. The other one over here, I like to say, is something called long-term spending. So this maybe is, hey, I want to go for a holiday. So this is daily, and this is something I'll call at a quarterly or maybe even a yearly thing, okay? So up to a yearly thing. So this is where you kind of want to do your big stuff over here. Let's say, for example, like your holidays, right? You want to go for your holiday trips once every 3 months, all right? Or maybe it's that big LED TV, right? That you kind of want to buy. You know, that day I just replaced my washing machine, which was running for about 3 years, and right now it kicked the bucket, so I got to get a new one. So it's going to be all your appliances over here, right? Or maybe it's that big house that you kind of want to do. So it's going to be a quarterly or yearly thing, and you kind of want to use that to save it up over here and then accumulate that, and after a while use this money to pay for all this, right? Now I have about 6 different types of buckets over here. One is for daily users, one is for quarterly users, one is for education, one is for charity. Okay, but I want to share one more very important bucket that I have over here. And this is how you start to get rich. What you want to do is you want to punch a little hole on this side over here, and you're going to go into this special bucket over here. And this, my friend, is what I call my investment bucket. Now I'm going to talk a lot about this more in my other series, but this, my friends, is how the rich get richer. And this is how you start getting rich. The goal about this over here is this, is to show that from a layman point of view, a person who is working every day, a worker, can basically do this and start managing your wealth in a way that you can actively go out there to grow your investments. So this could be an investments bucket, this could be a business bucket, this could be any bucket, but what happens is you're going to take a portion of this salary and you're going to put it into this bucket and accumulate it for a while. So now let me give you a couple of examples of how much percentage there is to be putting into here. Usually for necessity, I'll put anything from 50 to 60% of that money coming into something like this. Something over here, usually you put about 10%, right? Or more, right? At this point over here in investments, depending on how fast you want to do it, you could put anything from 10% to 20% of your money, depending on how aggressive you want to be. Now, I don't want you to overdo it. I don't want to say, hey, let's put 50% of our money over there. Well, if you're just starting out over here, I kind of want to get you to do it slowly so you can get it into a system where you can do it over and over again every single month. Now, what happens in the investment bucket towards the end is this, right? Now, this is the special one. If you notice about all this over here, the water flows down and it basically goes away. That's how expenses works. But in an investment bucket over here, if you successfully find an investment that gives you a good returns, you're going to turn it into something else. So let me give you an example right now. Let's say you got enough money over here to save enough to buy a house, which is going to be an investment. So that property over there, what you want to do is you don't want to stay into it. You don't want to just leave it empty. You're going to get it and you're going to buy it and you're going to get a loan onto it and then you're going to rent it out. Now, assuming the rental coming in is higher than what you pay to the banks, which is the best way of doing an investment, right? Basically, what's going to happen is you're going to get some money coming back to you every single month. So what I do right now is I call this as my investment pipeline. So what you do is this. So let's call this the housing pipeline, and this is a pipe. And what happens in this pipe over here is that it starts to now drip in extra money coming in on a passive business, if you understand this right now. And so this is the unique way of demonstrating to you how this works. Now, this rental coming in is not going to be a lot, it's not going to be a few $1,000s, but if you create enough of these pipes, my friends, eventually you can start using the buckets. Now, let's talk about another different type of investments. You could actually take this and go into stock market as well. And what happens is, using stocks, you could get something called dividends that's coming in. And that maybe comes in once a year. And that's going to be another kind of pipe. And that pipe comes in over here and drips in over there. So you can have stocks, you can have properties, you can have cryptos, you can have all sorts of different investments, or you could actually invest into a business. So let's say you want to do a laundry business or a coin laundry business, or maybe you want to invest into your friend's business, and that gives you a bit of cash flow as well. And that, my friend, is going to be something else. Now, as you can see, what you have done is you've done it successfully and you've linked it successfully and it becomes consistent. What happens is this is going to help fill up your bucket a little bit faster and you get a little bit more money coming in as the water rises. Does that make sense? So this, my friend, will then be able to now measure how much money you have in all different aspects of investments. So this, my friend, is one of the ways how I do it, and I always tell you this first. If you can see how this is done, every rich person I know, every successful business entrepreneur I know has a way of measuring how that money actually comes into here and how they allocate the expenses out so that this money coming in, they don't have this anymore most of the time, but this money coming in either from here or here increases the level in this main part over here, even after paying off all the expenses. Now that, my friend, is how you actually get rich. You don't get rich from businesses, you don't get rich from all this over here until the level of water starts to rise in the main bucket. So I hope you've learned something about this right now. If you like this right now, do click like and share. Do comment and tell me what you feel about what I've just shared with you guys. If you've got more questions, by all means, leave it in the comment box and I'll answer them. If you want me to share more about this, I'll do another series on this as well. Okay, so till the next time round, alright, see you guys.